Political candidates are raising and spending millions of dollars to win over voters this November.
Experts say how much money a campaign raises can be an indicator of success. So our Missouri Capitol reporter Hannah Falcon dug into the latest campaign finance reports as Democrats are stockpiling cash.
Many Democratic candidates have outraised their Republican opponents, several even outraising incumbents. But voters tell me it's not fundraising and spending that influences their ballots.
I know money's changing hands. I know that it's a lot more money than I can comprehend.
Like most people I spoke with today, Jefferson City voter Zeb Tomchek only has a vague understanding of the money being spent by political candidates. But to him, it's not the most important thing this election.
It doesn't influence how I feel. A lot of the ways I vote really probably cost me money in the long run, but if it's more helpful to the person standing next to me, I really find that to be more important.
Incumbents almost always outraise challengers because they've done it before.
Political and economic experts say it takes a lot of money for a challenger to bring down an incumbent or the primary party. Democratic challengers for several statewide offices have outraised the Republican candidates, including 2 races where they face an incumbent, Secretary of State and U.S. Senate. University of Missouri political science professor Peveril Squire tells me it can be an indicator of support when a challenger raises a lot.
The amount of money that a challenger has to spend is important because it can help make the race more competitive than it would otherwise be. It doesn't guarantee success.
But even when Missourians are aware of the money being spent, it's not their focus when casting their vote.
Primary concern I have is that the person with the most money tends to have the most valued opinion in politics.
Candidates for statewide offices are spending less this election cycle than previous years. According to campaign finance reports, the candidates for governor this year are operating on about half the budget that Governor Mike Parson did for his re-election 4 years ago. Reporting in Jefferson City, I'm Hannah Falcon, First Alert 4.